I'm going to tell you about some games which are honourable mentions, so they're not quite in my top 5, but I still thought they were pretty good. And then tell you some games which I was not so impressed with, or didn't live up to the hype for me. So I thought this video might be useful if you're just getting into the console itself, or if you're looking at buying a new 3DS and you're thinking, which game should I buy? Now, of course, this is just my own personal favourite list. What you like is probably going to be different to what I like. Okay, so number 5 for me is Luigi's Mansion. Now, I've never actually played any of the Luigi's Mansion in the series. I understand it came out on GameCube. But when I bought this game, so I didn't actually know what to expect. So when I played this, I was really, really impressed. It was unique, it was fun, and I'm still in the process of finishing it. Number 4 for me is, pull this one out here, is Zelda, the Ocarina of Time 3D. Now, I played the original Zelda on the Nintendo 64 when I was a kid, and I really liked that game, but when I was a really young kid, I found it quite difficult to play. So when this came out, and this came out very early in the 3DS's console's life, this was a great game. I really enjoyed playing this. They updated the graphics. The story goes on for quite a long time, and to anyone buying a 3DS, this is probably one of the main games I say, look, grab this one because you definitely will be impressed with the console when you play this game. Alright, so somewhat controversially, possibly, number 3 for me is actually all the Pokemon games. Now, I'm a massive Pokemon fan, as you probably gathered by now. I have all the different Pokemon games, right back from Pokemon Green right through to Alpha Sapphire and Omega Ruby. But the thing for me is, in the last couple of years, I've probably been Pokemoned out. And every new Pokemon game is an advancement over the last one. It's got better features, it's more thought out, but it all still boils down to it's the same story. So for me, after 10 plus years of playing Pokemon, they're just starting to wear a little bit thin for me. So that's why they're not my number 1 pick. Anyone who hasn't played Pokemon before, it's really hard to describe what you're getting yourself into. I say that I'm starting to wear a little bit thin on these, but I've already put 20 hours into Omega Ruby. I put I don't know how many hours into X and Y. So these games have so much gameplay that you could be playing these, for months or even years on end and still be getting enjoyment out of them. They've got such long life in the gameplay. They're very easy games to recommend for anyone playing the 3DS. So my number 2 pick is The Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds. Now, I played this game very briefly when it came out, I think on the Game Boy. Someone will correct me if I'm wrong, I suppose, but I played this very briefly when I was really young and I didn't get into it. And when this one was released, I really loved the gameplay in this game. It's all mostly top down. The graphics look great, the 3D looks great. The story is pretty basic, but it's solid. And basically anyone who gets a 3DS without knowing the Zelda world at all can put this in and play it. It's pretty straightforward, you're up and running. It's sort of somewhat easy to average difficulty depending on which dungeons you go into, but this is a great game, and I basically played this through from start to finish in essentially an entire weekend. I played this non-stop. I was that enthralled with the game. That's why, and people might say, oh, that's a bit strange to rate it above Ocarina of Time. I think the Zelda games can be pretty divisive, but both of these games were great, and the reason I'm ranking Zelda above Ocarina of Time for me personally is because I played this game so much and was just so taken by the art style, and just the entire game just really struck me and I really loved playing it. So I've actually finished this game now, and I'm at the point now where I'm considering playing it again. But in any case, yeah, that's an easy recommendation from me. This is my number 2 pick. Alrighty, so my number one Nintendo 3DS game has definitely got to be Super Mario 3D Land. This game is just fantastic. Anyone buying a 3DS, I would say the first game you should buy has got to be this game. It looks fantastic. It plays like a classic Mario. It's just everything you'd expect from Mario, and it's for a portable system. This game is just fantastic. This is probably the first game in a long time that I have actually finished a game from start to finish and then gone back and collected all the stars and finished the game to 100%. I haven't done that in a game since I can't remember when. In any case, this game just says, yeah, it's a great game. The graphics look fantastic. The gameplay is just short. It's very challenging at times, especially if you try to collect all the stars and do all the time challenges. The different power-ups are exciting. All the worlds are so vastly different. This is just a pleasure to play.